They heard it before they saw it. A thin, metallic buzz crawling across the air, too sharp to be an insect, too steady to be a machine glitch. Soldiers in the lead truck froze. The sound grew louder, closer, until suddenly the truth snapped into focus. An FPV drone was diving straight toward them at full throttle. Before anyone could shout a warning, the front of the convoy erupted into a sheet of fire. The blast flipped the lead Ural truck sideways, shattering its windshield and sending a cloud of dust into the air. The force rippled backward through the convoy as metal twisted, tires rolled, and soldiers were thrown off their seats. The valley echoed with the impact, a deep, crushing boom that vibrated through every vehicle in line. For a moment, there was silence, the kind of silence that comes after a sudden, violent shock. Then, the shouting began. Russian soldiers scrambled out of the second truck, weapons raised, eyes searching the sky for an enemy they couldn't see. Dust and smoke blurred their vision. Flames curled from the wreckage of the lead vehicle, painting the ground in orange waves. But the danger wasn't coming from the wreck. It was coming from above. The second FPV drone appeared like a phantom, bursting out of the tree line with a furious electric scream. Its camera locked onto the next target, a BMP-2 infantry vehicle attempting to maneuver around the burning truck. The operator nudged his controls, adjusting the drone's angle. The BMP's turret swung, trying to track the incoming threat. But it was too slow. The drone slammed into the rear engine compartment. A fireball erupted, engulfing the back of the armored vehicle. The explosion punched through the engine block, and black smoke billowed from its vents. The BMP lurched to a halt, its tracks grinding to a stop as soldiers inside attempted to escape. But for many, escape was impossible. The swarm was coming. Ukrainian operators activated the next wave, 4 FPV drones rising simultaneously from hidden launch points across the valley. Their engines whined like swarms of angry insects as they raced low across the fields, weaving through grass and debris with frightening speed. A third drone locked onto a fuel tanker, caught between 2 immobilized vehicles. The operator guided it beneath the tanker's frame, lining up the shot with surgical precision. The shaped charge detonated beneath the fuel container. The tanker exploded like a volcano. A towering plume of fire shot 50 meters into the air. Flames cascaded outward in a rolling wave, sweeping across the dirt road and consuming everything in its path. Heat washed over the convoy, forcing soldiers to dive to the ground as burning debris rained down all around them. The explosion didn't just destroy the tanker, it turned the entire center of the convoy into a furnace. The fourth drone angled upward, then dropped into a dive as it targeted a command vehicle reversing frantically. The RO-149Mi-1 command post swerved, trying to gain distance, but the drone swerved with it, matching every dodge. The operator's eyes tracked the screen. A sudden burst of acceleration, impact. The command vehicle erupted, its communications array blown apart in a shower of fragments. Antennas snapped, radios died, and every long-range communication channel for the convoy went silent. With the command post destroyed, the convoy was officially blind. The valley descended into chaos. Some Russian soldiers ran toward the fields, choosing to abandon the road entirely. Others stayed behind trucks, firing upward at anything that moved. Tracer rounds cut across the sky in desperate arcs. But the FPV drones were small, hand-sized threats with blistering acceleration and the ability to pivot sharply between bullets. The fifth drone sped inches above the ground, weaving between wrecks, flames reflecting in its tiny camera lens. It locked onto a soldier kneeling behind a tire, gripping a PKM machine gun. The drone dipped slightly, aiming for the center mass of the target. The explosion was instant. The shockwave knocked nearby soldiers off their feet and sent the machine gun spinning across the dirt. The sixth drone found the second BMP-2 as it attempted to climb a small hill, its tracks digging into the soil. The drone approached from the rear, where armor was weakest. A flash, the turret jolted, the vehicle stopped dead. Inside the cockpit of each FPV operator, screens glowed with real-time targets. Fingers tightened on controllers. Commands were shouted through encrypted radios. The ambush was no longer an attack. It was a synchronized assault. A choreography of destruction unfolding with ruthless precision. The seventh drone soared above the smoke, climbing to gain altitude. Its camera zoomed in on the rear of the convoy, where support trucks were attempting to flee. The operator lined up one truck carrying ammunition crates stacked beneath a canvas tarp. The drone plunged downward at full speed. The explosion triggered a chain reaction. Ammunition lit up like fireworks, crackling and bursting in all directions. Flaming shards of metal hurled across the fields, and shockwaves rolled across the dirt road. The eighth drone caught a speeding transport truck trying to escape the kill zone. It raced after the vehicle, matching its speed, weaving around debris and burning wrecks. The driver panicked, swerving wildly, but FPV drones were built for agility. The drone closed the distance, slammed into the truck's axle, and blew it apart. The truck flipped sideways, rolling twice before crashing into a ditch. The 9th, 10th, and 11th drones worked together, circling the last surviving cluster of soldiers who had taken cover behind a partially intact BMP. The drones moved in triangular formation, approaching from 3 different altitudes. One struck the ground beneath them, another hit the BMP's armor, the third detonated against a pile of crates. The valley became a vortex of smoke, flame, and shrapnel. When the explosions finally settled, the once moving convoy was nothing but a trail of burning wreckage stretching across the dirt road. In less than 2 minutes, Ukrainian FPV teams had wiped out an entire armored supply line. The surviving soldiers, scattered across the fields, waited in terror for another drone to appear. Their radios were silent, their vehicles destroyed, their commanders gone. The ambush had not just decimated their equipment, it had shattered their entire operational structure. Above them, Ukrainian drones hovered, recording everything, mapping heat signatures, tracking movement, confirming kills, and marking escape attempts. The operation was more than a strike. It was a message: convoys are no longer safe. Nowhere is safe, not even the back roads.